Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking probably the most mundane piece of infrastructure you interact with every single day, the humble parking lot, and we're going to pull back the curtain.
Yeah, to see the engineering, the high-stakes compliance.
And the surprising level of professional precision that's required just to make it work.
It's way more complex than people think.
I mean, you probably interact with the parking lot for what, 30 seconds?
Right.
Before you walk into a building?
Right.
Maybe you curse the confusing layout or you struggle to find a spot, but you rarely, if ever, think about the complex system that's governing that space. Our sources today, which are materials detailing the operations of Raleigh Parking Lot Painting, LLC, they argue that the parking lot speaks before your business does.
That's a great way to put it. It's the absolute first physical impression a visitor has.
And if that impression involves, cracked asphalt, barely visible lines, or confusing arrows, it just screams one word.
Chaos.
Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today is to show you that pavement marking is not simply a guy with a paint can.
Not even close.
It's this rigorous blend of safety engineering, meticulous regulatory compliance, and high-level project management. It's a shortcut to understanding why those crisp, perfectly straight lines are an operational necessity, not just some aesthetic bonus.
And we really need to emphasize the stakes here. When lines fade, the space doesn't just look sloppy.
No.
It immediately introduces safety risks. You get traffic jams where there shouldn't be. People have difficulty navigating.
Right. Is this a pedestrian zone or not?
Exactly. And critically, poor maintenance or inaccurate layouts can lead directly to costly non-compliance fines.
Especially with accessibility standards.
For sure. We are looking at the foundational physical interaction a visitor has with a business.
Yeah.
And that interaction has to be safe, welcoming, and, above all, organized.
That brings us directly to the core problem from the sources, this really stark contrast between the before and after state of these properties.
The before lot is just visual distress.
Yeah, we're talking cracked asphalt, confusion, marks so faded they look like ghosts of lines past. It just signals a complete lack of operational attention.
It creates unnecessary friction for every single person who pulls in. And the documents give us a fantastic example of a scenario where this chaos was it was absolutely unacceptable.
A major transportation hub.
The Raleigh-Durham International Airport, or RDU.
That is the definition of high stakes. I mean, an airport is operational 24 hours a day.
7 days a week.
365 days a year. You can't just shut down parking operations to restripe a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The challenge here was enormous. It wasn't just about restoring visibility. It was about achieving a perfectly safe, compliant, and organized space.
Often involving huge repainting projects.
Right, all without disrupting the critical flow of passengers, vehicles, and luggage. You're dealing with minute-by-minute logistics. This highlights why a specialist company is even necessary. They're not just hired labor, they're a restorer of order, an operational partner.
So the goal is always transformation, turning that worn, chaotic property into a professional, welcoming environment. But the complexity of a job like RDU, that must mean they're using equipment that is far beyond what we typically imagine.
Absolutely. When we talk about optimizing safety and aesthetics, we immediately move away from any kind of DIY methods and into, engineering-grade precision.
Here's where it gets really interesting. When I think of striping, I used to think of like a simple wheeled applicator, but the sources stress that true professional quality starts long before the first drop of paint even hits the pavement. So what kind of prep is required?
Meticulous preparation is basically the secret sauce to longevity. If you paint on a surface that has dust, oil, or fine grit, the stripe is just going to fail.
It'll ship and peel away.
In months.
Right.
The investment has to last for years. So proper preparation is foundational, and it requires specialized, heavy-duty cleaning equipment.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
For large sites, they use equipment like bend-sink hydraulic rotary brooms. Now, that's not just a fancy street sweeper. It's a powerful machine dedicated solely to surface prep, making sure the pavement is completely free of debris. This is the first critical step to ensure superior paint adhesion and clarity for every single line.
So the initial investment is just in making sure the paint sticks. That makes complete sense. If you skip that, you're looking at repainting costs and another disruption in a year.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then we move to the application itself. If prep is about making the paint stick, the application is about ensuring regulatory perfection. The source material notes they are Graco line laser certified contractors.
And that's not just a badge.
No, It means they're trained to use high-end, laser-guided pavement marking equipment.
Laser guided. So we're talking about precision that you'd normally reserve for, like highway construction or factory alignment.
That's the level of engineering we're discussing.
Mm.
Laser-guided systems make sure every line is perfectly straight, executed to exact specs, and it minimizes human error.
Which is huge when it comes to compliance.
Think about ADA compliance, where a quarter-inch error in an access aisle width could result in a major fine. That laser-guided precision becomes an operational necessity. It's spatial engineering, not just painting.
And materials have to be equally high performance, right?
Yeah.
Especially given the demands of clients like airports or medical centers. You need it to last, but you need the lot open immediately.
This is where material science meets logistical necessity. They use Sherwin-Williams Hotline Professional parking lot paint.
Okay.
This paint is chosen for its durability. It stands up to heavy traffic, harsh weather, but also, and this is crucial, for its rapid curing polymer technology.
We mentioned this detail earlier, and it's so critical it bears repeating. The sources state this paint is dry and ready for traffic within just 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Think about the RDU challenge again. If you're painting sections of an active airport or a busy hospital emergency room lot,
You can't shut down lanes for 8 hours. It's impossible.
exactly. That rapid curing time minimizes business disruption to almost zero. It's a massive operational benefit for any high-traffic client.
So it's clear that these credentials, being a Greco line laser certified contractor, a Sherwin-Williams approved applicator, and employing certified pavement marking technicians, it all signals a professional focus on quality, efficiency, and project management.
That holistic approach is what separates a professional service from a simple maintenance vendor. They're focused on a high-quality product while prioritizing timely service that respects your schedule.
Okay, so if that laser-guided equipment is designed for absolute precision, what happens when that precision isn't just aesthetic, but legally mandated?
Ah.
That brings us sharply into the realm of compliance. Now we have to shift from talking about speed and efficiency to talking about the law.
And this brings us to what is arguably the most important non-aesthetic service they provide: ADA compliance.
Right.
The sources stress that this isn't just about avoiding a lawsuit. It's framed as both a legal necessity and a moral obligation.
And the regulations around the Americans with Disabilities Act, while the intent is straightforward, the execution is incredibly detailed. We're not just talking about painting a blue handicap symbol.
Far from it. That symbol is just the start. ADA compliance involves precise requirements for the stalls, the access aisles, the signage height and reflectivity,
Things you would never think of.
and, most importantly, the slope of the path of travel. If the surface slope is too steep near a stall, the entire spot is non-compliant no matter how perfectly you painted the line.
And that means fines.
Immediate, serious, and expensive fines, not to mention accessibility lawsuits. Their technicians are fully trained in the latest ADA standards to make sure every marking meets these strict federal requirements. This is where technical expertise directly translates into risk mitigation for the client.
So the business is buying not just striping, but liability protection, guaranteed accessibility.
Exactly.
So let's walk through the versatility required here. What else are they marking besides just standard parking rows?
Well, their service catalog shows this impressive range. The core services are line striping and refreshing and new layout design, which is key for maximizing space in older lots. But the specialty markings are extensive.
Like what?
They handle critical directional markings, so precise arrows, stop bars, yield signs, which are essential for managing traffic flow safely. They also do handicap designation and even custom pavement markings.
So logos and things.
Logos, specific symbols, or even navigational aids within a really complex property.
I noticed the range of venues they service is huge, from retail to healthcare and industrial facilities. How does the precision required change when you go from an airport to, say, a giant warehouse?
That's a great question because the purpose shifts completely. In a warehouse, clear floor markings are all about internal safety.
Right, for the workers.
We're talking about defining forklift traffic lanes, pedestrian walkways, safety zones around loading docks, and hazard warnings. Poor markings in a warehouse lead to major safety incidents and expensive workers' comp claims.
And the sources confirm they service industrial clients, as well as securing contracts with some high-security entities, like the U.S. Naval Reserve Center.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes about the level of trust and operational precision that's required.
It truly does. It shows they can adapt these highly precise solutions to dramatically different logistical and security needs. whether it's optimizing customer flow or guaranteeing military operational safety.
So this is clearly a highly technical, compliance-driven business built on certified expertise. But let's zoom out for a moment and talk about the foundation of the company itself. The sources highlight this isn't a fly-by-night operation.
No, it's a family-owned business since 1985.
That's almost 40 years of service, covering Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Sanford, Apex, Chapel Hill, the whole area.
And that decades-long presence naturally roots them really deep in the local community. What's fascinating here is how their core values, precision, reliability, extend beyond just their work. Their values have woven themselves into this commitment to community outreach that goes, as the source says, beyond standard service provision.
So how does a company built on pavement precision connect that work to, genuine social responsibility?
They're actively involved in efforts focusing on rehabilitation and direct community support. This includes providing outreach counseling in local prisons and targeted assistance for vulnerable populations.
Specifically, supporting veterans and victims of abuse.
Exactly.
That's a powerful connection. It adds this unexpected layer of purpose to what seems like a purely transactional service.
It's a genuine dedication to social responsibility. They collaborate with organizations like the Freeway Church and the Kairos Prison Ministry, focusing on transforming lives and helping people seeking redemption or rehabilitation.
Wow.
So this commitment reinforces their reputation in the Triangle area, not just as a reliable contractor, but as a long-standing, caring community member. They're building literal infrastructure and supporting human infrastructure at the same time.
That structural integrity, spanning 4 decades, gives real weight to their professional reputation. You're not just hiring a crew, you're partnering with a company that has proven its commitment to the local area, both on the pavement and off.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So let's bring it all back together for you, the listener. We started this deep dive looking at a feature you probably ignore every day, a parking spot, and we ended up analyzing this complex, high-tech operation.
That's the real insight here. We saw the blending of true precision engineering, requiring equipment like the Bensink brooms for prep and the Graco line laser for application,
Right.
with strict regulatory compliance, like the exhaustive demands of ADA standards, all held together by the need for rapid curing materials like that Sherwin-Williams hotline paint.
This deep dive really shows that even the most seemingly mundane elements of our world require specialized expertise, technical certifications, and a serious business structure to ensure safety, efficiency, and, crucially, legal functionality.
And the hidden costs of ignoring those crisp lines in, fines, liability, and traffic friction, they far outweigh the initial investment in professional service.
Absolutely.
And that leads to a final provocative thought for you to consider. Next time you pull onto a property, whether it's an airport or a local medical facility, understand that the integrity of that business is often judged not by its CEO, but by the smallest, most overlooked physical detail, like a perfectly striped parking spot. Consider all the complex preparation, the laser-guided technology, and the regulatory knowledge that went into making that first impression perfect, safe, and fully compliant. That attention to detail is the silent promise of quality you receive before you ever open the front door.